with a lot of time in it.
I was sick.
And he's got toys,
The
and he
first-
likes to play with his toys.
Meeting will now come to order. We'll begin with introduction and seating of alternates, and we'll begin with town staff.
Ron Guy, recording secretary.
Dan?
Dan Beret, Town Planner.
And no one else from the town tonight. For commission members, we'll begin with introductions on my left.
Tom Bransfield?
Bob Ellsworth.
Chantel Foster.
Carolyn Freeman.
Robert Taylor.
Ken Burns.
Ken, could I ask you to be seated for Victoria, please?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. First item is to, a motion, please, to accept the agenda.
So moved.
And a second?
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, the agenda is accepted as presented. We'll move on to our public hearing, and this is for application 22-22, 34 Gospel Lane, proposed special permit modification to increase gym business floor size to 4,044 square feet in existing building. Application and property of MJS Realty Ventures LLC, map 31, lot 26, zone IP. May I have a motion to open the public hearing, please?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, the public hearing for application 22-22 is open. Would someone like to speak on behalf of this application?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, my name is Chris Bell. I'm a professional engineer from Hingham, Connecticut, representing the applicant. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. This application, we were here last month, for the application for the gym, which was approved by the commission. This application is to increase the gym size from the previous 2,950 square feet to the full size of the 4 bays in the garage to 4,044 square feet. And this was done, because the gym, had more equipment than originally thought, and, we only decided to let them expand into the, fourth bed. And basically, that's what the application is, the increase in size. They don't expect, more participants or customers, it's really just, because of, more gym equipment. And therefore, we did have, an increase in the septic system volume, but it did increase with the square footage, it increased another, 3 spaces, so, we had that originally planned on, as the original thought, we added extra spaces, this space they expanded, and we have that amount of spaces, still on the site plan of, 19 total spaces for the use, for the industrial use, in the office area, and for the business use with the gym. So the site plan basically did not change except for the calculation of the parking space. What did change, is the floor plan. May I, Mr. Chairman, may I have permission to share the screen?
Yes, yes, I believe we have to do something on our side to let them share. Yep.
See if I can. Oh, I forgot to hit the share button. Okay, did everybody see that?
Yes, now we can, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the former application was these 3 bays here, but they had extra equipment and they wanted a warm-up area over here with gym mats. Also was taken up the new handicap bathroom platform and ramp, so the owner decided to give them the entire area, which is in here. And he also created a hallway, so that would separate, the gym use from the office use. You would have a way for the gym participants to use the second bathroom that's in here. They could get from this area to the hallway and use the bathroom over the gym. I'm sorry, over in this area. So we only gave them the entire floor that area. And the fire marshal wanted actual equipment layout, which I did in this layout, so they could see the longest egress path that meets the requirements of less than 200 feet. This particular instance, I think it's about 100 feet to the further section. We also included the extra emergency lights on here for the added area, and we still have the existing 2 doors here, 2 entrance-exit doors, which are originally swung in. They will be required to swing out, which we have shown here. The fire marshal found that there was enough lighting on the outside to adequately light the area. There's enough emergency lighting on the outside of the building, and enough emergency lighting on the inside of the building. And that's basically all that we had for the application. The extra area and showing the actual equipment layout and the egress plan that's shown. That's about all there is to the application. And as far as I know, the fire marshal approved our floor plan. This actual area here is already built. It was part of a building permit for the previous approval, and that has already been accepted by the town as complete with the new handicap bathroom. And with that, I will entertain any other questions that the committee may have.
Okay, questions or comments from commission members at this point?
I just had a question about
Is the handicap bathroom intended to be the bathroom that everybody uses in the gym? Is that the intent?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
It's a unisex bathroom for use of the gym, but because of the amount of occupant load, which is determined by square footage, it's up to an 80-person occupant load. We have, if it's above 50, we have to provide 2 bathrooms, which we did. One has to be handicapped, and the other one can be located anywhere in the premise as long as it's easy access to the gym.
Because,
They will be primarily using this bathroom, that's what we set up for them, but they can use the other bathroom.
okay. Because, I mean, when I look at this, in order for somebody who's in the gym to use this bathroom, they'd be going through a lot of little doors and things like that. Is that right, or am I not looking at it properly?
This is all important, this is the open area. It's all open, there's no, these are all aisle spaces, but this equipment is basically gym equipment. There's only shown the maximum size of the equipment, like the outer periphery envelope of the equipment. These are all aisles that you can walk through. I mean, you could, if you're on the other side of the gym, you can see this bathroom door. You can easily walk up the door.
Right, I think my question was more about the other bathroom. In order to get to the other bathroom, you'd be, I'm not even sure how you would do it.
Well, basically, you walk through this hallway, there'll be
5 doors.
There's another bathroom, there's 2 doors. And this is through, these normally open doors. They're
Okay.
normally closed at night after, but yeah, they would have to go through a couple doors.
Yeah, that's, okay, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, other questions or comments from commission members? Anyone in the public who would like to have a question or make a comment regarding this application? Anyone here in the room? We'll start here first. Okay, nothing in chat? If anyone is on Zoom and would like to make a comment, please let your intentions be known.
Bob, I just want to say one thing for Chris. Chris, I know you said there was no increase in septic flow, but, and I hadn't had a chance to call you today, unfortunately. I had spoken with Liz Davidson, I don't know, 3 or 3:30, and she had indicated that she did want a little more analysis of the potential septic flow for the increased floor space. So I did include a condition in the motion that is done. So I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that.
The volume just went way down.
Yeah.
I could barely hear what you just said.
All right, let me try that again.
There we go.
Okay, so I had spoken with Liz Davidson today, and I'm sorry, I didn't have...
I heard what you said, the volume just went way down. I didn't hear that.
Okay, so are you okay with that, just to make sure you work that out with Liz as a condition of approval?
Yeah, like I said, they know what their client load is gonna be, and that's why they estimated 50 people a day max. Like I said, this increase in size was really just square footage, without an increase in occupant load. Yeah, I'd be glad to discuss that with Liz.
All right, great, yeah, I just didn't want to catch you off guard, just by sticking it in there without letting you know.
And I believe I saw something from the town engineer about striping in the parking area.
Yep, I have that he meets the comments of the fire marshal and the town engineer as well.
Okay. And we have no one on chat who would like to comment, correct? No. Okay. Last call for questions or comments from commission members. Okay, seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing, please? And a second? Seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Okay, public hearing for application 22-22 is closed. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. I believe we have a motion, Dan,
And you are the lucky one.
if you don't mind.
Okay. I get to read the whole thing?
Is it the whole thing, Dan?
Dan, or?
Just read to zone IP, and then you can skip the other stuff, and then you do have to read the conditions, though. So that's third sentence down. So map 31, lot 26, zone IP.
Okay,
Yeah, just to
Skip
there.
all this,
okay,
but
okay.
read the good stuff.
Okay. Motion to approve application 22-12, 34 Gospel Lane, proposed special permit modification to increase gym business floor size to 4,044 square feet in existing building, application and property of MJS Realty Ventures LLC, map 31, lot 26, zone IP. Conditions. Oh, wait, I have to say that. I'm just gonna read this whole
Okay.
thing. As shown on a site plan entitled Site Plan Change of Use for Gym dated 8/20/20, page SP1, floor plan dated 1/4/22, page A1, and based on all plans, renderings, and information submitted, testimony provided, and subject to the following instructions and conditions that are integral to this approval. 1, that this approval will expire in 5 years. 2, that 3 paper copies of the final revised plan and 1 Mylar be submitted to the Planning and Zoning Department for endorsement by an officer of the commission. The endorsed Mylar shall be filed on the land records within 90 days as per zoning regulations, section 10.5.3.2.a. 3, that the certified letter of approval be placed on the revised final plan. 4, that any exterior light fixtures must comply with zoning regulations, section 8, and must be approved by the zoning enforcement officer prior to installation. 5, that a zoning permit be issued prior to the start of activity associated with this approval. 6, that the applicant meet comments from the fire marshal memo dated 2/15/23. 7, that the applicant address comments for the town engineer's memo dated 2/28/23. 8, that the applicant does an analysis of existing and proposed flow for the building for Chatham Health District. This application is also subject to a final review and approval by Chatham Health District. 9, that applicant meet all applicable building code and ADA requirements as required by the building code. 10, that any signage requires a signage permit and must conform to zoning regulations, section 8.4. 11, that a zoning permit must be issued prior to the start of activity associated with this approval. Reasons: the proposal conforms to section 6 and 10.4 of the zoning regulations.
May I have a second to the motion, please?
Seconded.
Okay, we'll now begin voting, and we'll start with Chantel. Carolyn?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
This is Bob. I vote aye. Any opposed? There would be none, so the application is approved.
Thank you very much.
Yep, good luck.
Thanks.
Good evening.
Likewise. Okay, we'll now move on to our regular meeting, and the first item is application 22-16, 662 Portland Cobalt Road, proposed site plan review for food truck hosted by Core and Restore Yoga/Spa. Application of Rosanna Singer and property of 662 PCMI LLC, map 22, lot 2, zone B2. Would someone like to speak on behalf of that application? You would please identify yourself.
I'm Rosanna Singer. I am the owner of Corn Restore Spa. Nice to be here. So I'd like to put a food truck in the location, and not really sure what I have to do.
So is it just one food truck?
Yes, just one food truck.
And can you kind of tell us where it would be located?
Well, there's 3 tentative spots. I wasn't really sure. I'm not really sure because it's kind of new for me, so I wasn't really sure what part of the parking lot it was going to work at. But there's 3 spots, one to the left of the parking lot. There's one, I think, right where, in front of the mini golf.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah.
Okay, when I looked at it, I was like, is she gonna have 3 food trucks or one?
No,
food
just
truck?
one, just one food truck.
Okay,
I
you just
wanted to
haven't
have the option.
decided on the location?
That's correct.
And will you have any tables or anything around it, or?
You know, that's a good question. I really haven't thought about that, but I know that there's some old picnic tables in front of the old golf course, the old mini golf. So you could utilize that, maybe. Really haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay, so you don't really know what, if you have seating or not? or-
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking just a grab-and-go kind of thing, and for the seating, you know, I have to put a little thought into it, but like I said, there are some older picnic tables there in front of the old mini golf, and if you could use that, then I would utilize that.
So you wouldn't be taken away from the existing parking there? But
No.
is that the only thing that's open in that
Yeah, the yoga
right
spot.
now?
Mhm.
So nobody, there's no other businesses are in there, and what's the plan for that? I mean,
If that building fills up and the other businesses open, we'll take a look at the parking situation then, but currently with just the yoga spa, facility right now and the food trucks, they have ample parking in the front, and then there's also, parking in the back, up the hill, that can also be used, yeah.
Oh,
It's not striped, I don't believe, right now, but certainly if the building does fill out, they do have ample parking there.
okay.
but, so how do we I mean, obviously now, there's all kinds of space. but, I
Yeah,
mean,
if a business wants to come into like where True Value is, or where the old barbecue place, Russo's, used to be, we would probably get administrative permits and handle that administratively in the office, but there's extensive parking there.
Okay, and what about lighting? Because you said you'd be open until 9 PM.
Yeah, there's
Mhm.
like, I mean, for the most part, I'm looking into more of like a breakfast and lunch, and then, because I'm so new to it, I want to try the dinners and see how that works out. But there is lighting there. There's, you know, the light company, they have the poles there, so there is lighting there.
Will this be the same truck, or will various trucks be coming through?
It will be the same truck.
And would you be doing this year-round?
Yes.
Will the truck remain on the site during off hours, or will it be removed?
Well, I'd like to remove it because I wanted to clean it and then restock. So I'd probably just bring it home and do all that and then just bring it back in the morning.
Okay, any further questions?
Is there any issue with operation from 6 AM? Is that okay?
Yeah, the hours of operation are fine, yeah. Yeah, and,
That's when some people exercise.
yeah, and if anyone needs to use the restroom, that's why the business is, the spa is able to host the food truck, because they do have those facilities. And then there are, certain requirements, for the town ordinance that'll need to be followed, and that, requires like a trash receptacle for any food truck. So that was one of the conditions I did stick into the motion, was that it meets the town, mobile food truck ordinance.
What about signage? Will there be signage on the food truck? And
Signage can be on the food truck, but per the ordinance, there is no signage that can be placed out, like on the street.
Yeah,
You
but
put like a little sandwich board out or anything like that?
I don't believe you're supposed to, but I don't think I would make a huge fuss if she put a sandwich board out, during hours of operation.
Okay, other questions or comments, anyone? Okay. Thank you. Then do we have a motion then?
Yep.
Can't give it a
You
name.
can't do it. That can go down to Carolyn.
we're gonna have me read? Okay. To approve application 22-16, 662 Portland Cobalt Road, proposed site plan review for food truck sites hosted by Pour and Restore Yoga / Spa. application of Rosanna Singer and property of 662 PCMI LLC, map 22, lot 2, zone B2, as shown on site plan as well as narrative and based on information submitted, testimony presented during hearing, and subject to the following instructions and conditions integral to this application. 1, that the applicant complies with the comments or requirements from the Chatham Health District during administrative approvals. 2, that the applicant complies with Town Ordinance Chapter 11, Article 5, regulation of mobile food vendors. 3, that Corn Restore Yoga/Spa remain open during food truck hours of operation and provides restroom facilities for food truck patrons. 4, that the certified letter of approval be placed on the site plan and that a Mylar and 3 paper copies of the plans be submitted. After endorsement, the Mylars must be filed on the land records within 180 days per zoning regulation section 10.5.3.2.a. These requirements must be met prior to the issuance of a zoning permit. That a zoning permit application be submitted in accordance with zoning regulation section 11.1.1.a to ensure compliance with this approval. 5, that any exterior light fixtures must comply with zoning regulation section 8.3 and must be approved by the zoning enforcement officer prior to installation. 6, that this approval will expire in 5 years. Reasons: the proposal conforms to section 5 and 10.5 of the zoning regulations.
May I have a second to the motion?
Seconded.
Okay, we'll now begin voting. Chantel?
Aye.
Carolyn?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Bob, I vote aye. Any opposed? There would be none. Okay, the application is approved. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, next item of business on the agenda is application 22-20, which is a site plan review for adding on to the storage area, 127 Main Street, and I understand we will not be discussing that tonight.
That's correct. They have requested a continuance to the following meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Next item then is to receive in applications, and we have one. That's application 22-21, 15 Wilcox Hill Road, proposed site plan review for a new bus terminal with attached maintenance garage. Application and property of L&D Realty LLC, L&D Reality LLC, map 83.
Oh, that's probably supposed to be realty. Sorry.
Okay.
L&D Realty LLC, map 83, lot 38-3, zone I. So I'm thinking we'll hear this at our next meeting, Dan?
Yes, that is the applicant's hope.
Okay. All right. No other new applications to receive in, so we'll move on to old business. And first item is electric vehicle charging stations.
I don't have anything new on this one,
Okay?
unless anybody has any questions or.
Nothing new from me. Everybody? Okay, then we'll move on to Riverfront Overlay Zone. And our homework from last meeting was to come up with ideas for types of businesses in this area, in this zone. And I don't know, I'll start just to throw out an idea. Mine is more of a concept, and I hopefully it's not stating the obvious, but it seems to me like whatever, or at least one of the businesses that goes in there should take advantage of or accommodate all the people coming and going for the park, the Brownstone Park, the water park, also Quarry View, as well as, concerts that happen down. I'm thinking of, crowd attractions, concerts that happen down at the Riverfront Park. You've got all these people, you got busloads of people during the summer coming to the water park. And so, food is kind of an obvious one, some sort of food. probably something not so formal, you know, if you've got people who are stopping in while they're using either the waterfront park, or the water park, or the, I know the drum circles are a big attraction down at Quarry View. And of course, concert goers down at Riverfront might want to pick up a quick dinner or a snack on their way to the concerts. Anyway, my thought, hopefully it's not stating the obvious, but
So are you saying maybe like food trucks?
something along, yeah.
Because then you'd have a variety and,
You'd have a variety, it's kind of informal.
you're right.
Not a lot of overhead at this point, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to put up a structure,
No.
I wouldn't think.
You might need to for restrooms, but it wouldn't be a large structure, but you might just need to provide restrooms. I think that has some merit too, because of the flood zone.
Right.
That certainly would make things easier.
Well, did I understand that because it's in the flood zone, there'd have to be a higher, a structure built so that it was above the
Correct.
flood zone?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is one of the challenges for the site. While it's beautiful right next to the river, anything
Yeah.
built needs to be elevated.
Yeah,
And do you know the elevation in that area? It's gotta be pretty high.
Not offhand, but I can certainly find that out for you.
Yeah, I'm guessing it would be 8 or 10 feet.
I'm not certain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can find that out for you the next meeting, though.
Okay. Yeah, it might be interesting, just kind of.
well, I had a thought, and I don't know, it could be in conflict with other things, but I was wondering about a farmer's market. Like a weekly, during that season, because a lot of people, I know we have different sites in town, but this way, you can bring the people who do meat or chickens and vegetables, and you could even sell, shrubs, but I was just thinking a farmer's market might be, so it's one-stop shopping for people, and it might, could be, people, if they were at a drummer circle or even at the Brownstone Water Park, they may say, oh, let's get our dinner stuff here and go home or whatever. So, I don't know.
Well, I think that's another worthwhile idea. I just want to go back to the food truck, and I told you I talked to Victoria today, and she said she does have a lot of ideas, but one of her ideas was, she is aware, she spoke with somebody in West Hartford who is kind of a coordinator of food trucks, and they have a spot where they have all these food trucks, and this company coordinates whoever is going to be there at a certain spot.
Yeah, so I wrote down food truck park.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like multiple food trucks, and then they can bring out,
Right.
rotate them in and out,
Right.
stuff like that.
So that was like her primary idea.
I think they do
And since
that,
we're talking about food trucks.
I
Yeah.
think they do that along the shore in New Haven.
New Haven.
Yes, they do
There's a
right next
big
to the
one.
highway, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, does the water park, do they sell food?
Yes.
Have some, yeah.
They have some sort of concessions, but not, I don't think too substantial.
My thought was that we'd look at the business zone, or the commercial, and pick those uses that we might want to see down there, beyond restaurant, Somebody may want to put a hotel down there somewhere. I mean, it's a big area. It's not just
Right.
it's not just the brownfield area,
Mhm.
potentially. It's all the way down to the bridge.
It's 5 acres, that's a 5-acre spot there, where the blue tanks were?
I believe all three lots, yeah, I think you're right, Ken. All three of those together are somewhere around there, yeah. And then the riverfront overlay zone really encompasses from the riverfront park, along the riverfront, past the first quarry, that's the water park, past the second quarry that's currently vacant, and a little further south than there. So it is a, you know, there's certainly a lot of developable opportunities there, with the kind of transition away from that fuel oil, park.
And I believe there's just one company operating, using that area as a fuel depot.
I'm not entirely sure. I know the Buckeye Pipeline from across the river does have a spur that goes under there. And I think that's why the tank usage isn't quite the same, because they didn't have to barge everything up. But I can certainly look into that as well.
So Tom's idea, commercial other than restaurants.
And my thought was
Yeah, hotel.
hotels, retail, maybe
Mhm.
professional offices as possible uses.
I mean, yeah, if you're talking retail, that would tie into trying to attract some of the people that are already congregating in that
Mhm.
area, right?
Just seems like it would be an expensive thing to build for a retail establishment, you know what I'm saying? Just-
Oh,
Yeah, so, well,
But I guess that's not our problem.
yeah, I mean, you're giving them the option, and if they see an avenue forward, if that makes it more attractive, then that certainly just gives them another option, so, you know, I don't see it hurting anything just to have that extra.
It could be a seasonal retail, you know, seasonal retail operation. When there's a lot of people going down that way.
Right, it is pretty seasonal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, anybody else come up with any ideas for tonight?
Well, we can certainly hash this out more with Victoria next meeting. Hopefully she's feeling better.
Yep. Okay, anything else under old business? I see nothing. We'll move on to staff report then. Any correspondence, Dan?
No correspondence, but if Liz Tripp is listening, we miss you.
Do you think she listens to us?
No, she's probably got better things to do, but, you know, just in case.
I second that.
Yes.
Okay, any update on Brainerd Place?
Nothing new at this time. No, I think we're just waiting for them to address some comments from the International Code Council, and they should be starting on that first building shortly, as far as I know.
Yep, based on driving by, it looks like they've had that site prepared for a while. And
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of utility work there too, as well, with drainage. I think primarily drainage stuff.
Yep. Okay, then we'll move on to public comment. So any member of the public may make brief comments at this time. We have no one in the room here. Anyone? Oh,
Ellen's there.
okay, do we have anyone on chat who would like to make a comment at this point?
It might be on Zoom.
Ellen, did you want to say
Ellen,
anything,
do
or?
you want to make a comment?
Ellen, you're muted.
Sorry. I pushed the wrong button. No surprise.
Now we just went away.
Let me follow up on the discussion we just had about the riverfront overlay. I didn't hear mention of the river itself. I mean, we bought that property because a lot of the funding was dependent on the connection with, I believe, the river. And whatever is designed for bidding or whatever in developing that ought to take into account, I think, a very strong vision for access for voters to approach the town and any businesses that are there, and the townspeople to be able to go out on a pier or a walkway or even go fishing. But the whole design element of that area should not neglect at all the boating traffic that's there. And the benefits of just having that as a fishery and a place to just relax and not unlike the park next door. I understand that that's there, but if you had some structural development, I think it would be a real boon. One other thing, we're talking about food trucks and whatnot. That's, I think, a phenomenal idea, but it's going to be important to keep in mind the other restaurant businesses that we currently have in town, and think about how the decisions that you'll ultimately make impact them. I'd love to have a business that, think of this, somebody designs a business with a van that every hour on the hour does a tour of Portland from at Riverfront Park. They could drop you off at Sarah's, they could drop you off at any business in town, pick you up later, and you get a chance to see our golf courses and the rest of the landscape of the beautiful town. That's a possibility.
That's a good idea.
Finally, I spoke to the selectmen at their last meeting about something you've heard me talk about over and over again, and you'll continue to hear me talk about it, and that's the Route 66 corridor study. I just want to once again say it's going to be really, really critical to even the decisions about the riverfront. So I'd like to think that you guys are going to look into it in some way or other. Finally, I asked the selectmen to consider attaching a requirement for the Brainerd Place development that would mandate that the work on the three buildings extant, that's Brainerd and Sage and Hart Jarvis, be restored up to the standards specified by the Secretary of Interior. And I believe that was well received by the selectmen. Sooner or later that may come across your desk as well. I just want you to know that that's an important consideration in the Brainerd Place development. With that, I'm done.
Just so you know, Ellen, that's already conditioned from planning and zoning. I actually had a meeting today regarding that, and just looking for someone to represent the town in terms of ensuring that what is proposed and what is done substantially meets those guidelines. So that's certainly something that the land use office is cognizant of, and certainly something that we would like to see, done.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ellen. And I think, Ellen brings up a good point about the riverfront overlay. We may have, I think we were all thinking about taking advantage of the location based on the view but there really is a lot more to it than that, which is his point.
Yeah,
Well, the river accessibility.
yeah, I thought that was part of the recommendation that's already out there.
So, yeah.
That's why so.
Yeah, this would be additional uses, so I believe it's already stated that a water-dependent use is already allowed. So this would just really be additional uses that would broaden the options for anyone who responded to the RFP.
But I do think that it is worthwhile just mentioning that
Yes,
we want that to happen. In
Yeah.
other words, we want that to be
Yeah.
part of what we see
Yeah.
down there, whatever that is. And
Well, and I think like a food truck park, if they wanted to have some sort of dock, like Ellen's envisioning, then boaters could come up. So certainly that I think would be a draw, and that's a very
Yeah.
good idea.
Okay. Any other public comment? Anyone else from the public who would like to make a comment? Nothing on chat? Okay. No one here in the room. Okay, then we'll move on. Next item is the approval of the minutes from February 16th. And present at that meeting were myself, Victoria, Chantel, Rob, and Tom. So, let's see, we have 3 members seated who were present, but we need everyone, do we not?
To vote on the minutes? No, if you have 3, that's a
We
quorum.
have 3, so
Yep.
we do have a quorum.
Yep.
So that would be myself, Chantel, and Rob. So may I have a motion to approve the minutes from February 16th?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, the minutes are approved, and may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Not a record, but good.
Recording stopped.
Pretty good.
Up on Route 4
I think they need one.
What is it, 45 minutes?
around the corner there at the Collinsville, they have all the whole kayaks. But you get
Yeah, you could rent those.
something similar there.
Could rent those.